Hi, and welcome to the Ultimate Sales Conversion Highlight Reel, a TTEC web series about how to blow through those sales targets and deliver championship results for your company. My name's Liz Glagowski, and today we're talking about probably the most important topic of our whole series, and that is how to score some top plays, how to become a sales all-star with some great sales tactics and scoring plays. Um, so, like I said, it's a very important topic. It's kind of the crux of what everyone's looking for. So, we're really excited today to have with us to discuss this Jeff Farr of TTEC. Welcome, Jeff. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Liz.
So, Jeff, we're really excited to have you today because you've actually spoken a lot about this topic about scoring more sales and trying to really up your sales game with some specific tactics. So, with that in mind, can you maybe talk a little bit about some top scoring plays that people may want to make sure they have in their playbook?
Right, sure. So from our perspective, as you mentioned, I'm group vice president, and we only sell services in the sales acquisition life cycle. So it's all around lead generation, cradle to grave sales, account management, kind of farming, churn reduction, all the things that have revenue associated with that. So what happens in those conversations is it invariably always anchors back to a variable compensation model or commercial model. And when I talk about, hey, are you interested in us taking more risk in this program? The answer is always yes. And so in order to do that, what we recommend or what we require is really a deeper discovery portion of the, kind of the front end prospecting conversation. And what does that mean? Well, so typically it's pretty easy to get some of these shallow discovery done. Number of reps they're using today, how many sales per hour, average deal size. I mean, you can really get that pretty easily just looking at the switch and the CRM, product they're using. But when we talk about deeper discovery, right, I want to get into things like number of dials per hour, connect rate, conversion rate, their cadence. Are they profiling their prospect universe? Have they built custom personas? They typically don't want to share that out of the gate, but if they do, it can make a substantial difference in what we're willing to do.
So it sounds like you want to throw a lot of energy and a lot of effort behind just the strength of that sales program. So when you go deeper, maybe than clients were doing before, how does that affect your approach to the program?
Well, it affects it dramatically, Liz, because now we're able to take some significant risk, which is what they're looking for us to do.
Hmm.
Because we now know we can take a look at a program and we know, a typical rep might be making $65 a day. We often see programs where their team's making 20, 30, only $35 a day. What's their connect rate? Maybe it's substantially lower. And they haven't done things like look at the persona, the time of the day, what's the right cadence. Once we gather all that data, we're able to go back to them and say, we've got a 3 call plan approach. We know we're probably going to get 7% bad data, 78% voicemail, and 15% connect rate over 3 calls. This is the ROI that we're going to be able to deliver. And here's the glide path through our incubator program in 6 months. And with that, we're very interested and open to doing a variable commercial model. And it has a significant effect on their willingness as well. But they have to be willing to do the deeper discovery.
So it sounds like it really comes down to really up front getting a lot of data around finding the spots that you can really make improvements on.
Right. The tactic is to your initial question, right? Most prospects are willing to give a handful of things, and most reps are excited, hey, just to say they're willing to talk to us. But what we want to do is push beyond that and say, if you really want to partner, we have to understand all the levers and what's negatively and positively working in your program now, and then let us show you where we can make a big difference from an efficiency and from an effectiveness perspective.
Great. Now, being that you've been around a while and seen a lot of success yourself, are there any things up your sleeve in terms of just with a sports metaphor, a trick play or a special go-to that maybe helps your organization stand out among some competitors?
Right. I'd like to think there is, but typically in sales, we try not to use the word trick too often. So But one of the things we've had to do because of COVID largely is we've had to pivot from traditional relationship building. And one of the things we started doing was this virtual wine tasting event, which was an amazing program. We partnered with an incredible winery and basically had a sommelier come online with us for an hour and do an entire wine tasting. She would go through things like the history of wine in that region, why wines are regional, the weather effect on wine, how to taste wine. And then we would go through, they would ship the 3 bottles to the participants. We would each taste each wine. We would go through the taste card and learn about all the different types of tasting. And then you would make your own personal blend, basically based on how you liked the 3 wines that we had to choose from, and you would blend them together. This was an amazing event. We've done 6 of them so far. We've had 102 people attend. And in addition to that first hour that's conducted by the sommelier, we would basically have a second hour where we got to just kind of bond, build relationships, and talk. And out of that, we've had 36 one-on-one meetings to talk about what TTEC can do from a business perspective. So that's a 35% close rate on a really tremendous event. And the feedback we've gotten has been that it's been the best event that they've seen this entire year from a remote perspective.
Yeah, that's great, especially in this COVID environment and the remote and all the challenges with relationship building, as you said. That's fantastic that you're able to get such a great return and to think a little bit outside of the traditional sales tactics to be able to do that. That's fantastic.
Right,
Right.
and the folks got a couple of great bottles of wine. They got to create their own bottle, and nobody felt tricked, which was perfect.
Oh, perfect. There you go. There you go. Well, thank you so much, Jeff. This has been some really great insight. And as I mentioned, you've talked about this in much greater detail on a webinar that TTEC hosted recently called "Score More Sales," which really builds on the little bit that we talked about today. So, if you want to take a look at that webinar, I think there's going to be a scroll here at the bottom. We can do "Score More Sale," ttec.com/score more sales to find out a little bit more as to what Jeff was a little deeper into what Jeff was talking about to really get to the heart of what it takes to really build an all-star program and an all-star team. So Jeff, thank you again for joining us, and thank you all for joining us today as well. As always, we really appreciate you attending these web series, and we like to always end with a great sports highlight clip of our own. So this one goes along with the topic about a great scoring play, I think by maybe a future all-star. So enjoy, have a great day, everybody, and we will see you next time.